This isn't a Facebook mom group, so we're not here to like tell you what to do or to yell at you for what you're doing, but I'm standing in as a nosy bystander who doesn't know anything from experience and asking Kayla all of the questions. So,
Welcome back and happy Tuesday, turkeys. How long have we known each other?
We've known each other for 2 decades.
I am not apologizing for who I am or what I like or the people that I love.
How do I be a wife? How do I be a mom? And how do I be myself in all of that? You didn't see that coming, did you?
Good morning.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. We are building off of Ask Me Anything Mom edition.
Yes. So many questions, so many things to know, so many opinions, so many, I don't know, controversial opinions. So don't come at me if any of these are rattling your jangle, but I feel like this is pretty straightforward this
I
topic
wanted
today.
you to say rattling your taint.
That feels icky.
Okay. If you guys haven't listened, I have hair. We've recorded Kayla's birth story, which sort of spurred my let's keep talking about mom formation. And then we talked about breastfeeding. God, I don't even know what day it is.
That's a doozy.
So
That's a doozy.
last week, you answered all of my nosy ass questions for breastfeeding and how that's been going. And that led me to think about gadgets. So if you're, I don't know, this isn't a Facebook mom group, so we're not here to like tell you what to do or to yell at you for what you're doing, but I'm standing in as a nosy bystander who doesn't know anything from experience and asking Kayla all of the questions. So,
And I will
boopity
say,
boop.
there has been a lot learned from baby number 1 to baby number 2. It have blown my mind. Also, to follow up from last week's breastfeeding edition, it's a good thing we didn't talk about it today because a couple days ago, I have been dealing with mastitis and I want to cry and I wanted to stop entirely. It was one of the low moments of like, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. We have since made progress. We are not quite back to normal, but yeah, dude, that's no joke.
Is that an infection or an inflammation of the ducts?
Mm-hmm. It's like not just a clogged duct, but it's like to the point where I had flu-like symptoms, crashed out, like body felt like got hit by a train. There's like a red patch on my boob and it's fiery hot. Like if you get a fever, like a fever, that's when it's probably has turned into an infection when you need to go get antibiotics, but trying to go natural and get through it. Oh, it's no fun. No bueno.
Red.
Anyway,
Has it
so
cleared up at all?
it's about 60% cleared. 40% is still not fun. Like I can feel it throbbing right now.
Oh no.
So anyway, I'm glad I was in a better headspace last time when we recorded because I would have maybe had a different taint to my position last week.
Are you still trying to are you like out of the woods enough that you're going to still keep trying to pump for a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I also have to pump to get through it. So it's like a double-edged sword. So it'll be fine.
Yeah. Chad. Well, excuse me, you're back to work. And the breastfeeding conversation led me to giving you the intro to talk about mobile breast pumping, which who knew was a thing? I didn't until your wedding when one of your friends was pumping and she just shoved him in there and went back out on the dance floor.
I know, she's a rock star. That was crazy.
But I was like, that's so handy. I hadn't had friends in my proximity pumping, so I didn't know you didn't have to be attached to a whole machine.
Isn't it crazy that they didn't even have that? Like there was no pumping options back in the day. You just had to figure it out. Or you had to pass your baby on to the next villager to let the milkmaid take him. I don't know, whatever.
The wet nurse.
Yeah, but no.
Wait, I want to, okay,
Yeah.
you keep talking.
No, go ahead.
I'm going to look up wireless or cordless. I know it won't be the exact one that you use, but just to give people a visual if they're watching.
Yeah, well, I can name the brand that I use a lot. It's called Willow, and I had this last time, and in the beginning, when you're in bed for a couple weeks, I didn't mind getting hooked up. Getting hooked up sounds so dramatic, but you're basically hooked up to a wall and cords and you're sitting there and you're kind of restricted, right? But technically, like a lot of people have the Spectra, which is like a hospital grade pump, which is the one that plugs into the wall and you've got all the things sticking out and wires everywhere. So that's really good for the beginning because it kind of helps establish your supply, I think, better because it's like hospital grade. It's a better suction, essentially. Um,
Oh, yeah.
as long as you have the right flange. So that's like constant common denominator across the board, whether you're plugged in or wearable ones.
Yeah.
But it's been so nice since I have not stopped this time and I am going back to work while still pumping that I bring my gadgets with me, aka my Willow breast pump, and I can just stick them in while I'm driving and pump while I drive. And then it's like a game changer. Also, even at home, sometimes I don't want to be cooped up in the bedroom. Yep,
Yeah.
there she be.
It's just amazing. I think that's a good like representation of the size, but you just can
Mm-hmm.
shove it in a built-in bra and move
Mm-hmm.
along.
I mean, it's not noticeable unless you're probably bigger chested and you're wearing certain clothes. So, like, I wouldn't walk around in public with these. I think some people can. I just don't have. I'm just not going to. But I use them in the car, and I can use them around the house and like still go about my day somewhat normally.
Yeah. You can chase your toddler around.
Mm-hmm. The other one I have is the Mom Cozy one, which is really popular. I honestly haven't tried it yet. I tried it once and it was too much. And now that I'm established, I feel like I need to go back and try that one again because everyone raves about everything Mom Cozy. That's the brand.
Tell us too what you learned about like cleaning those out, your mobile pumps and all of that, because that was interesting. I think that was a revelation to you from the first time, right?
Yes, the first time, again, I stopped breastfeeding or I stopped pumping right before I went back to work last time. So that factor wasn't involved. But even at home, I would pump. I would obviously transfer the milk into a bottle. I would wash every single piece, which right there, that picture that you showed, it looks really pretty, whatever. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 to 7 pieces that you have to wash on each
Mm-hmm.
boob. So that's 13 to 14 pieces. Or I should say 12 to 14. Anyway, I was washing them in between every time. And by the time you wash them, you sit down, you go to the bathroom, you have a snack, you got to pump again. And it's just so, it's nonsense. So this time I've been a little more lenient. And if you're not comfortable with doing this, that's fine. But I obviously have to travel with them. So I'll pump on my way to work. I'll keep them in a bag with the milk and I'll just stick it all in the fridge. Wherever I'm going, I just stick it in the fridge. That way it stays like good and fine because there's like little remnants of milk in there. And then I pump midday and then I usually pump on my way home. And I just wash them once a day. And it's life-changing
Yeah,
because I wash them and I charge them overnight, and then they're good to go in the morning.
that's so nice.
Such a mental weight lifted off my head.
And for the people, they go on your boob. The suction is already there. The round part that you saw fills up with milk, and then you just dump that into your little thing, right?
Mhm, mhm. And then to disconnect it is a little bit more, but that's exactly just essentially.
I don't know. I was just impressed. I was like, man, it's nice that you can still live your life. The gadgets that they have created, I guess it's a double-edged sword that we're too busy to just be able to sit and do one thing, but
Mhm.
it's more time consuming, right? Because if you were breastfeeding from your boobie, you would just be feeding and then you're done. But with pumping, you have to pump and then you have to feed. So
Yeah.
it's nice
And
that you,
even if we were nursing, it's like, well, he's now at daycare and I have to go back to work, so I would have had to switch over to pumping at this point anyway
yeah, that's true.
during the day. Yeah, it's working out pretty well besides my mastitis this week.
And if it wasn't so easy for you to pump, I mean, obviously your production would go down, but that can cause clog issues, right?
Mhm. If you slow down like too fast, like when people stop, you're supposed to like almost wean off. It's like a drug and like that, so that way you don't get clogged and it just your supply slowly drops. Yeah.
Fascinating.
And that's crazy.
Fascinated. Okay, I'm going to share my screen on another one. We're just going to go down the list that you sent me. We have an electric nail file drill for baby.
Yes. I know this sounds so stupid, but I didn't know this was a thing. And I did have this for our first, but our dear friend, I've heard a story of someone trying to clip their baby with like nail clippers. It's just like it's too chaotic. So I didn't know this was a thing, and it's so convenient. It's like a little, just
It's
it's like
basically a
a
Dremel.
yes. I was gonna say a handsaw, but no, that's not what I meant. A sander.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so gentle and it's perfect. And I still use it for my 2.5-year-old because it's just easier.
So funny. You know what? Weirdly, crossovers for the dog parents, I feel like that would also be the
Oh,
perfect thing to trim
yes.
squirrely dog nails.
Yes.
Because
Uh-huh.
they make them like that for dogs, but I bet that's a better quality.
I don't know if it's as strong though for their thickness,
Yeah, maybe so.
but that's
I
a great
bought one
idea.
once that was basically like a shitty piece of sandpaper on, again, it was basically a shitty Dremel, and I feel like that would have been a better purchase. Now I
I've
just hold him down and make him.
I have a traumatic clipper story from our past dog, and she bled, and I was so sad, and I felt
Oh,
so bad.
I know. Our
I'm
one
like,
with
I could see it.
Our one with black toenails, we don't even bother anymore. We try to
Yeah,
get him to run around on the cement a
yeah,
lot so they naturally file down. And then if he does get over the edge, we let them clip him when he's boarded because even they have messed up. The last
yeah.
time we went and picked him up, he was bleeding because
Oh,
they overdid it. And I'm sure he was fine, but I think it had probably scabbed, but he was so excited when we got there. So then he's like drizzling all over the lobby. I was like, anyway, at least you could see
oh,
baby nails, but that has to be helpful, and it's not
yeah.
so loud, and you have to worry about pinching them.
No, and sometimes I could just do it when he's sleeping.
Dang, that's nice. Because I did not realize how much babies claw themselves and
Oh
how
my God.
easily they can,
And
like, gouge their
me.
face.
Yes. Like if he's on my chest, I'm like
You look like you
he's
got in a
trying to
fight with
get
a
me.
cat.
Yes. But no, it's more for him not scratching himself.
That's so funny. All right, next. We have a thing I would have never known about. Is this an electric nose sucker?
Okay. Here's Kayla's revelation of just 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow, this is fresh off the presses.
2 weeks ago. Okay. So obviously, oh my God. Okay, so we have a toddler and a little baby. I have now gone back to work, which means they're both in daycare, which means we're all sick and gross and everyone's congested and
Uh,
boogery. Okay, there's a nose sucker that we have, and I thought this was the only kind they had. Why did I think this? I don't know, but it's like literally a tube that you stick into the baby's nose, and then there's another tube that's separated by oh whatever. Oh, go down. Yeah, that one right there. The one that yep. You literally just
oh.
stick it in and you suck.
I watched you do this.
Oh yeah, okay. So first of all, Kenny like basically threw his neck out the other week trying to suck so hard. And also it's just terribly inconvenient and kind of gross. No boogers fly up into your mouth, but it's just the concept. Anyway, I was talking to my chiropractor and she's like, "Do you have the nose sucker?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got to do the whole thing." And she's like, "What?" No, like there's electric ones. And I'm like, "What? Where have I been?"
Because
It's
the ones that I knew were the ball that you
yeah.
squeeze, but that has limited ability. And then when you go to squeeze it again, are you not just blowing the boogers back out into the earth? And then how
And
do you clean it?
also, that thing is like molds city in there.
Yeah,
But
okay.
so I did not know there was an electric thing. So I have bought one now off Amazon and we have actually yet to use it, but I'm very
Oh,
excited to use it. And it's basically the same thing as a sucker, but I just don't have to use my own lungs to do it.
it's amazing.
Game changer. It's taken me this long.
Okay, well, you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
I remember this next one. I remember you vividly telling me that this was a game changer for you with your second. Bum, bum, bum. A bottle washer.
Bro. Okay. Obviously, if people are watching, you can see it's an investment. It is $300. I think I got it on
Okay.
sale during Prime Day for like $260, which was great. But anyway, I think it's worth every penny if you're able to get this. With our first, I had to wash every single bottle between every single pump and every single feeding by hand in my
Ooh.
sink. And when I say, but to throw that into the equation of washing your pump, washing the bottles,
Yeah.
going to the bathroom and doing it all over again, right? Like it was just so time consuming. Then I got a little thing that you can throw some stuff in, you throw it in the dishwasher, but that's not fast enough. And I don't run my dishwasher 4 times a day.
Oh, yeah.
So that thing is like if you're going to put anything on your registry and you hope that someone's going to buy something expensive for you, that's the thing to do. Like
Or let them
maybe a
do a motor pool and I'll pitch in.
yes. Like, yes, you need a bassinet. Yes, you need blah, blah, diaper, blah, blah, blah. But that thing is literally for your mom mental health, the best thing we have gotten. I don't even know how we did it with Kate with our first. Now you just throw the stuff in. You throw a tablet in, like a little tiny tablet like you would with a dishwasher.
Uh-huh.
The one we got, you like fill a container of water on the top, and then there's a bottom reservoir that catches it, and then every time you just have to dump it and then refill the top. That
Okay.
works for us better because I didn't want it on our sink or by our
Yeah.
sink. Because there's, I believe, Mom Cozy also offers one. If your kitchen setup is different and maybe your sink isn't in the middle of your kitchen, in the middle of your island, you could do that one because then there's just a hose that like drips and stays in your sink, and that's where the water flows out. But I didn't want the hose flinging and flying everywhere. So we
Yeah.
got the baby Brezza, and hands down, 1000% would recommend over hand washing.
Well, I also feel like it's gotta be cleaner and better.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I know it's breast milk or it's formula. It's probably, you don't have chunks of food, there's things, but
So much more sanitized.
I
Sanitized.
hate I hate
Mhm.
I hate what are they
I
called?
know. Yeah.
Brushes. I hate the brushes, the toilet brush, basically. And then don't you have to, if you wash like that, don't you still have to like let them sit in something to sanitize them?
So you're supposed to sanitize them probably more often than I did,
Oh,
but I would hand wash them for like a day or two, and then I would stick them in the dishwasher when I ran it because I feel like that was hot
uh,
enough to like sanitize it.
yeah.
You could also like put it in boiling water like you're supposed to when you first buy bottles and stuff, but who does that after the first time? I don't know. But this is really cool because you can do like a quick wash. You could do a wash and dry, or you could do a wash, dry, and sanitize. So there's like three
Oh,
different settings.
handy
It's,
McDandy.
yeah, it's perfect.
I have another question.
Mhm.
We don't need to find visuals for this, but how did you decide on your car seat and your
Yes.
what stroller
So
thing?
those are my honorable mentions that I didn't give you a link for because people get so. I didn't want to recommend my exact car seat because there's potentially a recall on it that I need to look
Oh,
into.
okay.
It's mainly for comfort, I think, something with the foam. I don't think it's much.
Oh,
We got to look into that.
okay.
But if you get some kind of car seat that turns so that you can literally open the door and put your child in facing you, buckle them all up, and then turn it facing backwards,
Yes, I've seen you do that. That has to be so
swivel,
helpful,
the
especially for
swivel,
your chunk of a toddler.
dude, it is so handy. We wouldn't be able to go anywhere with our big one. And when I say big one, I mean my 45-pound, 2.5-year-old or whatever he is. I can hardly lift him into the car and surely can't lift him into Kenny's lifted truck.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that is highly recommend a swivelly one. I'm just not going to tell you guys the name of the brand that I have. There's not very many, so you could probably figure it out. But just like, let's check out the recall situation first. And then, and then the other honorable mention is the stroller. Yes. Okay. So Mockingbird is the stroller. I could maybe pull this up real quick and send it to you, or you could type it up. It's Mockingbird. And we were confident that we wanted 2 kids. So I went ahead and bought the 1 to 2 like stroller seat where it's
Uh-huh.
just one stroller seat to begin with, but then later in life, you can buy the second seat and the adapters to just snap right on. Same stroller, and now you have 2 seats. And it's been
Oh.
so handy. So obviously we have the second part now.
Is it this thing?
Well, yeah, that's one attachment. That's the bassinet attachment. But if you go to
Okay.
their website, they have like, there's so many different configurations.
That's cool. I'm probably not clicking the right things.
Well, I guess you can click on this. Yeah, click on the dad and the kids right there, or whoever that is. So you can
Oh,
kind of
I
see
see.
like that where the bassinet portion is. You can turn that into a seat.
Oh.
The other ones at the bottom, you can flip them both facing you. You can flip them both facing out. You can like flip their position. Like it's very adaptable.
Versatile,
Yes.
adaptable.
Yeah.
That's so here's maybe a
Yeah. Yep.
double facing out.
But it's cool because you buy it and you just have the one. But then when you're ready for the second, there's a few. It was so easy. We snapped on a couple adapter pieces and then stuck the second seat on, and we were good to go. So
Dude, how nice that they're starting to think about things where they're changeable and you don't have to have 500 different things all the time. I mean, I have had friends who love just those cheapy push little chair. It just looks like a cloth chair on a thing.
yes,
But I think those are bigger kids that I've seen those with, and then by that age, they tear things up and
yeah.
they don't want to walk in it half the time, so it's easy to fold it and throw it in something else or whatever. But I had no idea your one went from a onesie to a twosie.
I will say it is very, very. It's a great quality, but it's a little bit bigger. So we did fly with it one time, and that was a mistake because it was heavy as hell. So now we have a really nice, and when I say really nice, a really cheap but nice foldable, like one that we just can whip around a little bit better. So
Yeah, that makes sense. I will
yeah.
say, as someone who doesn't have kids and hasn't touched a stroller, I still have yet to figure out how to unfold that thing. I remember one time me and your cousin got out when it was your first,
I
and she
remember
and
this.
I were standing there at the side of the car while cars were driving by. It was like a joke. Like, how many dinks does it take
T-
to set up a stroller?
To be
The answer
fair,
was not enough because we just
yeah,
stopped and made you do it.
it's confusing until you know how to do it, and then once you know, it's like so easy. So it's one of those things. My
I mean,
last
I watched you and Kenny whip it around and be fine,
right,
but I was
right.
like,
Like
okay.
if you don't know, you don't know. But my one other honorable mention before I forget is baby wipe warmer. We did have this
Okay.
with our first. It's just the wipes are so cold. It's weird. I don't know how wipes are cold, but they're wet and that means they're cold. Like everything's so cold. And so in the
Yeah.
middle of the night, especially when you're changing like a sleepy baby and you're trying not to wake them up and then they get hit with this cold, wet wipe, it's so nice to have a little warmer. It just warms it up, but just a tiny bit where it's not frigid.
Well, that makes sense.
And
Body temperature versus room
mhm,
temperature is a pretty big gap.
yeah, so that helps to keep them somewhat sleepy.
Good call. Yeah, I don't know that
Yeah.
I would want to be shocked with something cold on my butthole in the middle of the night. It's probably what people have described with getting a bidet that has a water warmer versus
Oh, yeah.
a room temp one.
I still don't like bidet conversation. I'm just kidding. The conversation's fine. I just don't like bidets.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you. This has been enlightening. For all my ladies who don't have kids but are getting invited to baby showers, now you know some things. I don't suggest coming in hard and saying you know more than what the mom is asking for, but it's a good way to be like, hey, I heard about this from another mom. Maybe
Yeah.
it would be helpful. Also, we will put the links in the chat. We are not making any money off of any of these suggestions. So
And
they're
if you don't
true.
like the suggestions, then don't click on the suggestions.
Okay, well, that's true too. But this has been very interesting. Very interesting. Good to know. I don't have any other thoughts or comments, but I do love you.
I love you too. Bye.
Bye.